What's going on, guys? Decoration Dude here, and today I have a pretty neat video. This Gemmy life-size party monster. Now, I got this guy last October, and so I've had him for a while. The only reason you haven't seen him or seen like him in my last year's display or up until now is because he was in pretty horrendous condition when I received him. The person I got this from, I also bought several other props from, and they were all in pretty rough shape. This guy was probably in second worst condition. The worst was definitely Giles. He was in really bad shape. But this guy was pretty rough as well. He was shipped to me actually in like a Home Depot box that was held together with painter's tape. If you know anything about painter's tape, it's made to come off walls like easily. It's like supposed to be not as sticky as typical tape, so it doesn't peel off the paint on the wall. So it just was completely given out and ripping all over the box, and there wasn't much packing material in them. There was a little bit, but definitely not nearly enough to ship a Gemmy with, because I've just had countless Gemmys get destroyed in shipping, because UPS is just not very careful with the larger boxes. And so as soon as I opened this box, well, technically I didn't even open it. It opened itself. When it was on my porch, it was literally hanging out. But the base was completely shattered in some areas. I did my best to fix it. What I did is I took him completely off the base, took the shoes off, took his whole collapsing mechanism out, and then I tried to push the plastic pieces back up and do it as best I could. I glued it, and then I added metal supports on the back side of his base. So you can kind of see like right there and back in there. It's not perfect, but it's definitely a lot less noticeable than it was. Also, there was like one screw holding in his the plate for the bottom of the base that covers the board. So that was kind of just hanging loose, and then his board was just completely hanging out somehow. I don't know how that happened, but it's a miracle that this guy arrived to me with no serious board issues. And as far as like mechanically, I'm pretty sure nothing worked on him besides this sound. Maybe a head movement did, I don't remember, but all the wires in his head were ripped off. There was like alligator clamps tied up in his head, or someone put alligator clamps in there to try to fix the wires that were broken off. So I guess like trying to avoid having to cut the mask and open the head by doing that, but unfortunately it didn't work. So I did have to cut the mask and open this guy up, and it did take a while for me to kind of figure out what was going on, because I think there was wires missing and it was just a whole mess. But I did get him completely rewired, and if I still have the video of me like repairing him and showing like parts of repair, I will include that. I don't remember if I have it or not, but I'll have to look. But I mean, he was in pretty rough shape. He's fully working now though. The only other issue that was pretty noticeable was that his goblet was missing. I actually found a replacement. This was actually a Count Vigor one that I painted. It's the same thing, just a different color, and it looks good now. And I think he might be missing a ring on his arm. Yeah, he's missing one of the rings, but that's barely noticeable. But I mean, he was in really rough shape. I think I got him for like 175 bucks, so not a horrible price. But if I could go back, I don't know if I'd buy him. It was a lot of work. And like I said, I will include a video clip, if I still have it, of me doing repairs on him and stuff. But yeah, the only downside to this guy right now is that he doesn't have the purple button like a lot of the Gemmys that came after this guy do have. So there's no way to really like control when he goes off. He just goes off when he detects motion or sound, which kind of sucks. So that means you have to listen to the Monster Mash every other phrase, but in general, he's still a really unique piece, and definitely a part of Gemmy history. So I'm gonna go ahead and plug him in. We'll demo him.
Why you look at me like that? Don't hurt you, why?
So yeah, he works really good now. Here comes some Monster Mash.
From my laboratory in the castle east to the master bedroom where the vampires feast, the ghouls all came from their humble abodes to get a jolt from my electrodes. They did the monster mash. It was a graveyard smash. It caught on in a flash. They did the monster mash. The zombies were having fun. The party had just begun. The guests included the Wolfman, Dracula, and his son. They did the monster mash. It was a graveyard smash. It caught on in a flash. They did the monster mash.
Alright, that's enough of that. But yeah, there he is. As you can see, he works good. You may have been able to tell that his head turning side to side and neck is a little loud. I might try to go back in and apply a little bit more grease to it to see if I can get it to be a little bit quieter, but it doesn't really bother me that much. Another interesting thing about this guy is, like, I was expecting his head to be similar to Brain Monsters, which is like, Brain Monsters is like divided right here, so it has a front half and a back half. This guy's actually divided right down the middle, which is pretty interesting. And I was super thankful that when I got him, the whole head wasn't busted and cracked, because I knew the bottom of his head, you can kind of see here, the bottom of his head was busted, but I was able to kind of make it work. But if like the upper part of his head would have been busted, I would have been screwed. Because, you know, with the Brain Monsters, it's very common for the back half to bust and, you know, crack, and you can do something about that. It's just, you know, there's no facial features, it's just back of the head. That is repairable. The front of the head is a different story. You need the part out a different life size. I don't think any others use the same exact head, so you'd probably have to part out another party monster to be able to fix it, or use that party monster for parts to fix another one. So luckily his head was still intact and in pretty good shape. But I just thought it was pretty interesting that it like splits right down the middle like that. And I mean, yeah, there he is, Gemmy life-size party monster. I don't really have anything else to say about him. Like I said, I mean, he needed a lot of repairs, and I am glad that I was able to get him fully working. And I will include that clip if I still have it, like I said. But yeah, I don't really have anything else to say about him, so I'm gonna go ahead and end the video here, and thanks for watching. Alrighty guys, so I'm just gonna give you a quick little look into the repair here for Party Monster. I got the eye turning side to side neck out right now. I just re-greased it, replaced the gear, and so far, I mean, I haven't documented all this, but so far I've kind of troubleshooted where these wires went, because every single wire was off in here, and some of the wires were originally attached to the wrong wires. This is kind of hard to explain, but like, for instance, like this wire, the ends of them that were ripped off, they had parts of these wires on them, like from where they ripped, but it was not put together right, and it was covered in hot glue. All this was covered in hot glue. So I traced the wires to the board and got these all figured out, so those are on there right. Replaced a split gear in the eyelids, replaced a gear in the mouth even though it was not split, just to be safe. And I just got done replacing that gear, like I said. And these wires do not go into like the aux cord, they go into the other connection, and they don't share wires. So like the aux cord has the mouth, and the eyelids share that. The eye moving side to side just has its own port. And then over here, I opened this up. Someone put like some really nasty grease in there. It was like almost a neon color. It was like really bright yellow. It was nasty and really sticky. So I cleaned that out. And this part was actually put on wrong right here. So the wires were getting pinched, and it wasn't allowing this to turn right. Like, it wasn't allowing it to turn properly. So over time, that caused the motor to go bad. So it does still turn, but the motor is definitely struggling. So I'm gonna deal with that after I get the head fixed. But yeah, that's just a little progress so far, and he should be up and running shortly.